You don't actually think that you can't do it. That's not fundamentally true, and you in fact know that it's not true. But you still carry that sense, and that feeling and that belief shows up from time to time. And in this video, you get to surrender that energy, surrender that belief back to God in the most simple and direct and highly effective way called the Sovereign Mind Method. I'm going to walk you through this method step by step, and it has been used to help countless entrepreneurs and creators just like you transcend any limiting belief imaginable. We're going to focus our energy and our intention on dissolving the belief, I can't do it, in today's session. So first and foremost, what I would love to convey to you is that every belief is just a choice. You're fully sovereign over your beliefs. You're fully sovereign over your identity. There is no such thing as a permanent or deeply ingrained limiting belief. That's silly. That's nonsense. These are all simply choices. You haven't yet learned how to use the power of your intention to change that belief, to change that reality within yourself. So we're going to give you a step-by-step and practical method to accomplish that now. As a pretext, it might be helpful for you to understand that beliefs aren't just statements about reality that you think are true. That is a 1990s definition of belief. The 21st century definition of belief is that a belief is energy bound to intention. And beliefs live in both the mind and the body. That's why your beliefs make logical and emotional sense. You can logically know that it's not true. Oh, I am enough. I am worthy. I know. But internally in your body, you feel the energy. You feel the emotion, the sensation of not enoughness, unworthiness, or in this case, can't do it. Oh. Now, this energy that's making this experience, we're going to disidentify from that. And you will tangibly experience that energy melt out of your body in a way that's beautiful, profound, and so simple and so easy. And we'll do that through the power of your intention. Now, there's a few intentions in this sequence of the Sovereign Mind Method that I'll describe to you before we actually go through the process. The first is detachment. Now, detachment is important because if you are subconsciously holding on to a belief, even though consciously you want to let it go and you're going, get out of here, I don't want this belief, get out of here, but you're subconsciously still holding on to it, there's a part of you, a little inner child that thinks, I need this belief to stay safe, I need this to have control, I need this to have love, this is my identity. And there's a subconscious attachment to that belief. And you're going to find it next to impossible to let it go. So we intentionally use our conscious intention to subconsciously detach from the belief. And then suddenly, letting go of the belief is easier than ever before. So we accomplish this in this particular method by speaking specifically crafted intentions out loud. Word for word, I will give you the exact intention to speak out loud. And again, not in your mind. As you've begun training yourself to utilize the power of your intention, of course, you can intend silently. You can intend anything you want in your mind, but articulating the intention will involve more of your attention to the intention and will help that intention fully execute on the somatic level, which is what you want. You want to use the intention to clear the energy out of your body, not just your mind. So the first intention is as follows. God, please help completely forgive all attachments to I can't do it. So what are we doing here? Well, let's break this intention down step by step. First and foremost, as a beginner, it's very useful to lean into your preferred word for your higher power, that benevolent, all-loving source of creation. I use the word God. You may use the word Christ, source, universe, everything, oneness, Buddha, whatever you prefer. I prefer God because it's simple, it's direct, and it doesn't carry any negative connotation in my belief system. So pick a word for God, higher power, higher mind, that doesn't carry any negative connotation. Choose a clean definition for you, and lean on that higher power in your practice of intention. It's a very, very powerful secret now revealed. It's like It's kind of obvious when you think about it. In Alcoholics Anonymous and 12-step programs, they intentionally lean into the higher power in order to achieve miracles of liberation from addiction. And so our ego mind gets addicted to these beliefs, and we can use that direct relationship with a higher power in a very similar and loving, authentic way to dissolve our attachments to the belief. So again, the first step, God, please completely forgive all attachments to I can't do it. Now, why are we saying please completely forgive? Well, we're making the intention a request to interface with the higher power and use that higher power's abilities. We don't have to rely on our own ego mind in order to know how it all works. It's just a request of the higher power. And we're asking for complete forgiveness. And this is very key. The ego has this ability to I'm going to forgive you most of the way, but I'm going to hold on to this little thread of resentment in order to use it as a weapon against you at some point in the future. We don't want any of that. We want to ask for complete forgiveness. Complete adds a level of depth and clarity and sincerity to your intention. And so the invitation is, God, please completely forgive all attachments to I can't do it. So now, if you will, just say those words out loud and notice how the energy shifts in your mind and in your body. God, please completely forgive all attachments to I can't do it. Now, many of you can feel that very subtle but very noticeable shift. There's almost like a loosening, a relaxation. And for your awareness, you can use this simple two-step method that I'm offering you in this video on any limiting belief imaginable. You're of course not restricted to just doing I can't do it, but that's our focus for this video. And so how did that feel? You should feel an energetic shift. If you felt a resistance come online, you have counter intention to letting this belief go. There could be another aspect of your psyche that says, no, 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 I want to hold on tighter the moment that you sincerely intend to let go. In such case, you can simply say, I present all counter intentions to God. I present all counter intentions to God. Now, present has a very magical dual meaning here. It is simultaneously offering these energies up, these resistant energies that want to hold on and bind to the belief as a gift. I'm offering this as a present to God. But additionally, presenting is drawing those energies out of the past and out of the future projection of the ego mind and drawing the energies into the present. So it's presenting it. It's bringing it into the present. And as we say, I present all counter intentions to God, that naturally and instantly reduces, dissolves, eliminates the counter intentions to your primary intention executing successfully. This is a very useful metaphysical shortcut, hack, cheat code, etc. But really it's just understanding the mechanisms of intent and counter intent. So at this point, you should have been able to clear any counter intent to detaching from the belief. And after clearing the counter intent, you may find it useful to say that clearing command one more time. God, please completely forgive all attachments to I can't do it. And with that step complete and the sub-step of clearing counter intent, the next and final intention is thus. God, please completely forgive the one who first believed I can't do it. This is fascinating. You've probably never thought about this before, but once upon a time, no one had ever believed or imagined I can't do it. That spell had never been broadcast into all of creation. No one had ever imagined it, no one had ever believed it, but someone at some point did. And then he went around and he told other people, hey, did you know that I can't do it? People go, well, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, well, I can't do it because it's work. And then from that moment forward, that thought form, that tiny mad idea of I can't do it, spread through the collective consciousness, and now there's hundreds of millions of people believing in different variations. I can't do it, I'm not capable, etc., etc. So, when you simply say out loud, God, please completely forgive the one who first believed, I can't do it, you are creating a miraculous forgiveness intent that reaches that first one and then cascades through every moment in time and space into the now present moment. And you will instantly feel that belief dissolve out of your body. So, I invite you to now say out loud, if you haven't already, God, please completely forgive the one who first believed, I can't do it. How does that feel? Should be a significant release at this stage in the process. And truly, those two intentions, God, please completely forgive all attachments, God, please completely forgive the one who first believed, that's all that you need in order to dissolve a limiting belief. And I have discovered through researching the compassion key that compassion is a very powerful karmic clearing intention. And so as a bonus part of the process, you may also say, I am compassion for all who now believe I can't do it. Allow yourself to feel compassion in your heart. Extend that compassion to all who now believe I can't do it. I am compassion for all who now believe I can't do it. And there should be a softening of the heart. There should be another gentle release, or in some cases a strong release, if there was a strong karmic dimension to your belief. Because you see, beliefs are multi-dimensional energy patterns. They don't just live in the mind, they don't just live in the body, they live in your extended aura, your energy. They extend through the dimension of time and your ancestry. Beliefs can be projected into the future and alter the course of your decisions, thus altering the course of your future. This simple method of intentional forgiveness is the most simple and effective way that I have personally seen to dissolve limiting beliefs. And if this was effective for you, if you can feel a relief and a release right now, in fact, you can even test it for yourself. When you say the words out loud, I can't do it, there may be a little smile that comes up, like, oh, yeah, that old thing, like, that's silly, that's nonsense. Or there may be a sense of total neutrality. It no longer carries that same emotional weight and baggage as it did before. In either case, we call that a successful result. If there's no emotional charge, or if it's just kind of lightly humorous and funny, it's like saying, I'm a Cabbage Patch Kid, I'm a bibble babble boo, I can't do it. It doesn't really mean anything anymore in the same way, does it? And of course, there is always the possibility that you have some sticky attachments and some sticky, tricky counter intentions to letting the belief go. And maybe you're one of the ones who can still feel that belief at the end of this process. Well, if so, I've got great news. You can come and work with us in our community. I've got a mastermind group that I'm actively developing where I teach people these methods and give practical real-time demonstrations. You can actually volunteer yourself to work with me one-on-one in a public group format where you can find instantaneous relief from these limiting beliefs, and you can bring any challenge, you can bring any obstacle that's showing up in your business, in your life, in your relationships, and receive professional and safe facilitation. And I'd love to hear if this was helpful for you. Put a comment down below and just let me know about the impact that I'm having in your life. It means a lot to me to read and see the impact. You know, it's seeing is believing, they say, and so I don't necessarily believe that, because I know that ultimately all of this is just a dream, and I'm just a dream figure in your dream, reflecting back yourself from a different perspective. But it does feel good to my little ego to know that what I'm doing is making a difference. So if you found it helpful, please let me know. I'll see you in the next call, see you in the next mastermind, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Take care.